What's up, everybody? Big Blue here with Big Blue's UFC picks. So directions for how to get on the panel. Of course, that's what we're trying to do. I don't want to be the only one up here doing this. So I want you guys to get on here with me, but we can't just take anyone. So what we're going to do is send your predictions to bigbluepuss@gmail.com. So how that works is make sure you get your predictions to me before the event starts. What you're going to do is, one, pick the fights that I cover. So pick a winner or a loser. You're going to get 1 point for those if you get correct. You're going to pick a round that it ends in, unless you're picking a decision. There's another point you can earn. And 3 is pick the method of finish. So if you pick one fighter to get a submission in round 2 and you hit all 3 of those, you're going to get 3 points. Obviously, if you pick the right person but it ends in decision, then the most you can get is 2. So maybe after 5 or so events, I'll tell people, send me what they think they're at rank-wise. I'll check it out, and if you're in the top, I will get you on here and you can make predictions with me. Also, guys, so you can completely make the same kind of predictions I'm doing. Every fight I'm going to say that we're betting $1,000 as an example. So you're going to take your $1,000 and break them up depending on however you want and put that in your prediction and see how your money payout is, in addition to the point system that I had talked about. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you want to see UFC only stuff. Make sure you look in the description and subscribe to my UFC only page. What's up, everyone? Big Blue here with UFC picks for UFC Fight Night 59 on Fox Sports 1. And we're going to be covering the main card, starting from the bottom, going up to the main event. So first up, we have Park and Tibau. Park is the younger and less experienced fighter in the matchup, but worthy to note, he has not yet lost in his 5 UFC fights that he's gone through. Tibau has many fights under his belt, but has struggled against more prominent fighters in general, except for a split decision over Dos Anjos back in 2011. Tibau has excellent takedowns, and Park has excellent submissions that he won many of his fights prior to the UFC with. So my prediction for the first fight of the night on the main card is that the underdog, Norman Park, will win by finally pulling off a submission win in the UFC round 2 of the fight. Alright, fight number 2, Hall versus Taylor. And these guys are on polar opposite directions at this time. Hall had lost the Ultimate Fighter in his following fight, but has won his 2 most recent ones. Taylor has won his last 3 fights, but seems to be struggling against more experienced fighters who would be UFC worthy. And to note that this is his first appearance in the UFC. Taylor has relied heavily on the guillotine choke to win his last 3 fights. I feel that against a higher caliber opponent like Hall, Taylor will not succeed where he has in the past. I don't know if he's going to have any octagon shock when he gets in there, but I can't see Taylor winning this, just being outclassed and outskilled in general. With that, I will choose a win for Uriah Hall by TKO or knockout in round 2. The co-main event of the night is Donald Cerrone and Benson Henderson. Cerrone is coming off a very short time between fights on an impressive 6-fight win streak and has good momentum going into this fight. Henderson's won 2 of his last 4 fights, although arguably the Thompson decision would have put him at winning 1 out of the last 4. And Cerrone has lost their 2 previous encounters in the past, so this will be their 3rd time fighting each other. He lost the first by decision and in a 5-round fight, and he lost the second by a first-round submission. I feel that Cerrone has greatly improved since their last encounters, and that Henderson has greatly faded since his title loss against Anthony Pettis. I don't think that the 2-week break between fights for Cerrone is going to play into the fight in any noticeable way because it's simply 3 rounds, and I think that the break, if anything, would have killed his conditioning, and I don't see a 3-round fight posing any problem for him. With that, the Big Blue Puss prediction is that Donald Cerrone takes the win by decision. And finally, in the main event, we have Conor McGregor against Dennis Siver. McGregor has excellent stand-up, where on average he outstrikes his opponents 2-1. He has very heavy hands for the weight class, great range, and has a variety of strikes. He is fairly untested on the ground in regards where he's on his back, because he's currently rocking 100% takedown defense. Siver also has pretty good power and tends to outstrike his opponents 3-2. He tends to fight very stiffly with good head movement, but tends to lack any lateral movement. His stiffness will probably hurt him against a range striker like McGregor. He only has a 63% takedown defense, which could open him up for ground and pound because McGregor averages over 3 takedowns per match, which is saying a lot because most of his fights have been ended in the first round. Due to Siver's low takedown attempts and low success rate at takedowns, I feel like his only chance would be sneaking in some power shots. And because he's stiff and lacks the range, I feel like he will really struggle to find any success against Conor McGregor. Due to McGregor's striking and desire to back up his prediction talk, the Big Blue Puss prediction is that a win for Conor McGregor via TKO or KO in round 1. And before I make my final money predictions for this event, please keep in mind that the 2 closer fights are very even, and that I would not be putting real money on this particular event. It's not often that I would completely pass up an entire event, but in my opinion, this is just too close to comfortably make a bet on. With that said, I would break up my $1,000 by putting $650 on Donald Cerrone at plus 130. I'd put $250 on Norman Park at plus 115, and $100 on Parks under 2.5 minutes at plus 195. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to submit your predictions to my email in the description below prior to the start of the main card, so I can get some of you on with me so I'm not making predictions in an echo chamber. Till next time.